Now, whenever you see delicious food, you tend to get greedy. When you get greedy, you put on extra weight. When you put on extra weight, you want to go on a healthy diet. And that healthy diet includes a salad. And a salad includes an ingredient called celery. Now let's look at it from the automotive point of view. Maruti Suzuki saw a big delicious pie of the Indian small car market and got greedy. And then they created extra weight like the A-Star and the Estilo. And now they are on a diet plan. And the diet plan includes a very important ingredient called the Celerio. The Celerio is based on the Suzuki A-Wing concept and the production version retains the aggressive design. The swept-back headlights have a conical theme for the detailing which matches that of the fog lamps. The Celerio isn't a tall boy by design, but thanks to a generous 165mm ground clearance, it does look tall yet wide. The glasshouse is much similar in design to that of the Estilo and the large windows make the cabin feel roomy. The front end has hints of the Etios lever to it, more so in this blue color. The silhouette of the Celerio is reminiscent of the A-Star, while the tailgate looks like a minor evolution of the Alto 800's back end. In fact, the Celerio comes across as a bigger Alto than an all-new hatchback, and that can act as a double-edged sword. The design of the Celerio's interiors isn't a big departure from the theme that we have seen in other Maruti Suzuki cars. In fact, all the switches that you see inside the car, you know that they have come from the common parts bin. The design isn't anything extraordinary, but it isn't outdated either. The familiar 3-spoke steering wheel now gets controls for audio and telephony, and these should filter down to the other Maruti Suzuki hatchbacks in the recent future. The audio system, however, is only available in the top-spec ZXi trim. The instrumentation is quite feature-rich too, and apart from the usual gauges like the speedo, tacho, trip and consumption computers, the unit also allows the driver to customize the locking and unlocking patterns and allows changing the sensitivity levels of the anti-theft system. Set the sensitivity low and your car won't scream every time someone bursts a cracker. The Celerio is quite a spacious hatchback for its size and has a roomier cabin than the A-Star or the Estilo. The quality of plastics and fabric is at par with what we have seen in the Grand i10, but the lighter colors make the Celerio's cabin feel roomier. The cabin also features quite a few storage spaces for bottles and knickknacks. The Celerio is powered by an improved version of the 1-litre 3-cylinder K-series petrol engine and claims to have better thermal efficiency and lesser frictional losses. Redubbed as the K-Next, it produces 68 PS of power and 90 Nm of torque. It retains the rev-happy nature and is noisy yet a smooth operator, unless you plan to rev it to its limits. This engine can be had with 2 transmission options, a 5-speed manual or a 5-speed automated manual. Now, unlike your regular automatic transmission which makes use of pulleys or a torque converter, this particular system uses the same 5-speed gearbox that the manual transmission uses. However, this has a computer that does all the calculations. It will sense what your throttle position is, what is the speed that you are carrying, and then it will make the optimum gear changes. The advantage of this system is that it gives you better fuel economy than a regular automatic transmission. In fact, Maruti Suzuki is claiming 23.1 km to a litre for both the manual as well as the automatic unit. The 5-speed transmission is new and is low on maintenance. While the transmission fluid on the outgoing gearbox recommended a change at around 50,000 km, the new gearbox needs a fluid change at about 1.6 lakh km or 10 years, whichever is earlier. Since this remains the same for the automated transmission as well, it makes for a more economical proposition than a conventional automatic. The automated gearbox feels a tad jerky at slow speeds, but the convenience that it offers more than makes up for it. The roads in Jodhpur haven't really offered us a big variety. We haven't really gone on any sort of off-road surfaces or something that has surprised us with a lot of potholes. The roads are quite smooth, but still I can tell you that the ride quality of this car is quite good. There are the occasional thuds of course, but then you don't feel them all that much. It's not all that sharp. You don't get that choppy effect when you're driving on these road surfaces. In fact, the suspension setup is much better than what we have in the A-Star or the Estilo. The bounciness is much lesser, it feels a little stiffer, so taking turns doesn't really impart a lot of body roll into the vehicle. The steering system is also quite good. It's quite light at city speeds, so maneuvering the car through city in stop and go conditions isn't a big problem, and even out on the highway it weighs up quite well, so making those lane changes isn't a problem either. With a healthy list of features and a youthful styling, the Celerio is definitely a contemporary vehicle from the Maruti Suzuki stables. But while it addresses the concerns of styling and space that we had with the A-Star, it still doesn't get a diesel motor, and that could act as a deterrent. But that said, it achieves a balance between the peppy performance of a petrol engine, the convenience of an automatic transmission, and the good fuel economy and low maintenance cost that a manual gearbox has to offer. And it is that combination that should help the Celerio make some noise for itself.